Aston Villa have made their first signing of the January transfer window, and it's probably not one that you're going to expect. I can tell you that it is a defender, thank the Lord, right? Because our defensive record this season is woeful. He was shortlisted for the Golden Boy Award. That's the best, I believe, under 23 player in the world. And he was heavily sought after by a certain Arne Slot at Liverpool. But before we get into that, guys, thank you very much for the reaction onto the last video. But I think it was something like 86% of people were not subscribed to the channel. And if you're a Villa fan, Premier League football fan, you enjoy football content and you like a different opinion and you like discussing it, leave a like on this video, subscribe down below, turn notifications on, then you won't miss a single video that I put out there. But with all the self-plugging out the way, let's talk about Villa's new 18-year-old defender and why we've done it. As you can see on the screen, it is Yasin Ozcan. I'm probably absolutely butchering the pronunciation. If anyone from Turkey is watching this video, please let me know how you pronounce his name properly. Is it Ozcan? Maybe, I'm not 100% sure, but he plays for Kasımpaşa in the Turkish Super League. He is only 18 years of age. The reported figure is anywhere from 6 million to 8 million pounds, because I'm seeing it reported in euros, pounds. It's very unclear, right? He has a current market value of 4.8 million euros, but as you can see, he's left-footed and he plays primarily as a centre-back, but also as a left-back or left wing-back, which really, to me, I find a little bit confusing in terms of why we're signing him. Clearly, you'd think, right, one for the future, but let's dive into his stats. As you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, he is a regular starter despite his age, and if you look even further to the right of the screen, since he was 16 in 2022, he's pretty much been there or thereabouts in the first team. He's made 76 senior appearances for Kasımpaşa, scoring 5 goals. He genuinely, I mean, you break it down season by season. Breakthrough season 2022, played 20 games, got 2 goals. Last season played 40 games. That is in all competitions, but still 40 games. This season, as you can see, 16 already. He is no stranger to men's first team football. He also got selected in June 2024 for his first senior Turkey squad, but hasn't made an appearance just yet. You can see here, like you say, 90 minutes in every single game. He is a stalwart defender for the club. So let's dive into his stats, right? No goals this season. He does get goals, 2 in his breakthrough season, 3 last year. So you'd assume that a goal is on the horizon for him. In terms of assists, no assists as of yet this season, but he topped 75th percentile for expected assists for his position. 642 passes. You can see why Emery and the scouting department of Villa like him. An 80% pass accuracy. 49 accurate long balls puts him in the top 13th% in the league again in that position. Only 38% of those successful, 25% successful crosses, 4 chances created, 3 successful crosses from his position puts him in the top 6.5% as well. 8 successful dribbles, 1,000 touches, 10 of those in the opposition box. You go down to his defending stats. He has conceded 3 penalties in 16 games. He's young. He's probably a little bit rash. We can forgive him for that. He's won 13 tackles this season off of a 65% success ratio on those. 69 duels run, about 50%. 34 aerial duels, 55%. 34 interceptions puts him right at the creme de la creme, as we would say in England, of interceptions in that league, in that position. 1 block, 25 fouls committed this season. I mean, 3 of them penalties, needs to work on that, but 60 recoveries. And he's won possession in the final third twice, which I actually find quite strange for a player playing his position. He is decently physical as well. 187 centimetres puts him at about 6'1", 6'2", and he's only 18, right? And he's not going to turn 19 until April next year. So he's a pretty fresh 18 with a lot of potential. So let's look at a scouting report. If we move over here and we switch back to the normal camera, I'm going to throw excerpts up onto the screen for you. This was written back in 2023, so 5th of April 2023, a scout report of him during that season where he played 40 or so games. Left-footed, one of the youngest players in the Turkish Super League, as you can see on the screen there. His potential as a centre-back is much higher than as a full-back, and he seems to have manoeuvred himself pretty much indefinitely into that centre-back spot for his current team. Raw physically lacking upper body strength. Again, this was a couple of years ago, so maybe he's worked on that now. But he is tall with long legs. We like a daddy long legs in the team because they just get around the pitch. Good acceleration. I've seen him described as quick a couple of times. He's organised in possession. He occupies a deep position in a situational back three, something that we've seen Emery work on this season. Clips passes over the top, in between lines, a skill that he also uses in his clearances, and we've got a couple of clips later on where that will be highlighted. And he can carry the ball forwards dynamically and find teammates with through passes into the channels. Is this reminding you of a certain player that Aston Villa currently have on the books that plays that position and possibly enjoys a paella? Under pressure, he's not confident to find more creative solutions, but being young and raw, it's definitely an aspect he can improve. And with the way that Aston Villa play and the way that Emery coaches, you would expect that to be the case. And they even mentioned there, they call it out specifically, he could improve as a ball carrying and ball playing centre-back. Quite premature tactically, shows doubt in 2v1 situations when tracking runners. He can lose his balance in wide 1v1s. His best moment comes where he can use his length for interceptions, which, if we switch back to the foot mob screen just here, you can see, where was it there? He does use it quite well. So the scouting report was pretty accurate. I think we can take that on board. He has to be more aggressive in his duels. Again, he only wins about 50%, so that again is pretty fair, especially with the back to goal. A lot needed in terms of physical and tactical development to reach his ceiling, but a good level of game intelligence combined with length, pace, and the potential to break lines from the left as a centre-back make him an interesting prospect. He's playing at a lower mid-table club. This was just before he turned 17. His ceiling, again, higher as a centre-back. Ability to play as a full-back. Not much evidence of him being a leading central defender, so his potential flexibility can make him an integral part for teams that fight for the title in his country, whilst also competing in European competitions. So they saw his potential back then. But here is possibly where the honeymoon of this signing might come to an end. Let's have a look. So as you can see on the screen, we have our left-sided defensive options, and you can see it's pretty bountiful. So at the moment, I've got the two at the back that really start most of the games. Martinez is in there because I couldn't figure out how to not have a goalkeeper, so I do apologise for that because the rest of the pitch is very empty. But Pau and Digne right there are pretty much, I mean, they start, 90% of our games this season, 95% of the games this season. They are our left-sided defensive pair. Emery likes to have a left footer and a right footer in the heart of defence. He's very, very rarely strayed from that, bar suspensions and injuries. And Digne and Pau seem to be his guys, right? Pau a little bit more being dropped recently. Digne, I'm very surprised at the amount of minutes he's still getting, purely because of the amount of money that we spent on that man right there, Ian Maatsen. You would have thought the money, the pressure to play him, clearly Emery doesn't give a little hoot about that, because Maatsen is very much a bench warmer for Villa this season, and that doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon, although Digne at some points this season has looked a little bit leggy. We also have Tyrone Mings as a backup for Pau Torres. Emery always spoken very highly of Mings. He's come back into the starting lineup a couple of times already since his return from injury. He was meant to be more prominent, but then got injured again in a warm-up for a game. I can't remember what game it was. It might have even been the Nottingham Forest game. So where does Ozcan fit in to this when you have two established senior men's footballers, a former captain of Aston Villa, and Pau is seemingly Emery's golden boy to an extent, right? Worked with him before in Spain, bought him over, and he's been a pretty much dead cert to start, right, ever since. Luca Digne, his form, playing him in above a near £40 million Champions League finalist of a wing-back that you assume is going to come good and be the successor for Digne. I don't see that the plan there would have changed. So where on earth does he fit? But before I give you my final opinions on Ozcan, possibly what Villa's plans for him might be and what I would do to develop him into a player that could feature for Villa, and where I think possibly a couple of the other signings might be going, we have one more thing to do. So if you are looking forward to my thoughts and opinions, please stick around till after the next segment. But I've got a 2-minute video from a YouTube channel called Football Young Talents. Thank you very much, Football Young Talents. Link in the description below for that video. We're going to watch this video and analyse some of his highlights from his last couple of seasons. This was when he was 16 years of age in 2023, but I think it highlights him as a player quite well. So let's dive into it. So we kick it off with the fact that this guy has a bit of a wonder goal in him, because you'll see that this first highlight is an absolute banger of a goal. Ball falls to him here about 30 yards out, absolutely smashes it in. Reminds me of a Ron Vlaar goal against Sunderland. I think we beat him 6-1. It was Mignolet's last game before he went to Liverpool. Dig that knowledge out. Here you're going to see him put in a couple of crosses. Again, another shot that blasts over the bar. I don't know why they've put that one in there, to be honest with you. But here he is getting the ball, carrying it out from defence. You can see that he has a bit of pace about him, a bit of natural ability. And he starts pinging balls like this in this video that are very Pau Torres-esque. That one especially clips it over the top, takes a couple of the opposition players out of the game with that one. A little interception there, heads it down. This is a good clearance. This is what I was talking about in the scout report. He's turned that clearance into a very good ball out to the wing. This is him on the ball. Again, they're trying to clip it, get his team forward. His players does actually win that in the end. That's a Pau Torres ball all day, right? In above. You could see a Lucadinha or a Matson running onto that. This is, I think most of these clips are when he's playing centre-back. Decent clearance, managed to get it out. That's a very good tackle. That one. This is a very good tackle. I've seen this one already. That is very, very good. I can see why he gives away penalties, though. Lord have mercy. Another great tackle there. Yeah, brilliant. That could have been a foul or a tackle. I have actually no idea, to be honest with you at all. I think that's him getting a little assist there from left back. Yeah, there he is, the number for 58. Lovely weighted pass into his striker, who does the rest of the job very, very well. Ultimately, my thoughts, my feelings, my opinions on our first semi-official transfer of the January transfer window. Look, he's 18, but he is a regular first team player. So I don't think he's going to want to come into a club, and I don't think it's going to be a signing for the under-21s, right? He's playing in the top flight of the Turkish Super League, something that he has been doing now for 2.5, 3 seasons. So I think the plan's going to be very simple, right? I think with this signing, the writing's on the wall. We're going to sign him, and he's going to go straight back out on loan to Kampim Bassa, I believe their name is, for the rest of this season. Now, where he goes from there is anyone's guess. I think it might be another loan spell when he's 19 next year to get some first-team experience, or perhaps we see something in him, right, that no one else does. When we signed Kostan Nedeljkovic, you wouldn't have expected him to be getting Premier League minutes at 18, probably. But here we are, and he is. And he looks decent when he does it as well. I think he has a lot of potential, right? This signing for me probably heralds the end of Mings in some regards, or Pau Torres, or something, because I don't think anyone would have. I mean, again, I understand that he's 18. I understand he's going to go back out on loan, but I don't think anyone saw the left side of the fence being something that Villa would be looking for. Look, it might be the type of thing where an opportunity has arisen to sign him. He's clearly sought after. Liverpool were after him, etc., etc. Shortlisted for the Golden Boy Awards, 70 plus senior appearances at 18 years of age. He clearly has bags of potential, bags of talent. And maybe the opportunity just arose, one that we couldn't turn down, a player that we've been scouting for long, right? But this isn't a signing for the under-21s. This isn't a signing to be out on loan till he's 21, 22, 23. You would expect, considering he already has those 2 years of senior football underneath his belt. But I think it's definitely one for the future in regards of we're not going to see him play in a Villa shirt this season. But I'm excited for it. Look, the clips make him look better than he probably is, because clips always do that, right? I mean, Alexander Tonev looked decent on YouTube before he signed for Villa. But you have to be excited. It's an 18-year-old, very, very good. To play that amount of games at 18, you have to have something about you. And I feel like maybe in 2025, 2026, we might see a bit of Ozcan. So welcome to Villa. If you somehow manage to see this video, share it around in Turkey, hit me up. I'd like to speak to you. We'll do a little interview or something. Cheers, boy. If not, up the Villa, everyone, and I'll see you soon.